Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the English broadcast of the Chinese LPL. I'm Matthew Fish, Stuart, Jake Spawn, Tiberius still joining me here on the desk today. We just saw an absolute cracker coming in from SOFM for Snake. They're a very dominant victory against Saints.
Yeah, you know, Snake fans, you can rejoice because it seems like your team is finally back on track in the LPL. And, you know, if you want to watch a good series, like I think that is like one of those series that as a jungler you should watch because he had it all. Like jungle timers were on point, ganks were on point, counter ganks were good. And, you know, it showed that even if you put a lane behind, you can rescue it, still do good things for your team. So I was really impressed with how Snake and SOFM in particular played that set.
However, if you are friends or family of Raptors or Krugs, please do not watch that game. It was absolutely demoralizing, and we sincerely apologize for every single Raptor.
I got you tonight. I'm just reading the mind of every word you're gonna screw up, and like I got you back. Don't worry about it. You can do as much as you want. I think I can save you.
Oh, thank you, Swan. I definitely need saving here tonight. We're gonna move into the second match that we have coming up today. It's gonna be EDG taking on IG. This is a very big match here for this week of the LPL.
Yeah, it always is because EDG, IG, like that's a huge rivalry. IG hadn't beaten EDG in 2 years, and then IG beat them in the 3rd versus 4th place match last summer. So I think that is a really cool matchup. I love talking about EDG and IG. IG got the best of them last time they played, 2 times ago when they played as well. IG lost a set to Newbie. EDG lost a game to Newbie. Apart from that, both teams have looked stellar. So I think that this is going to be interesting, and we'll see how the top half of the map finally for EDG stands up against some real powerhouses coming out of Invictus.
It almost feels like, you know, EDG, their solo lanes here are going to get really tested by IG, especially after phenomenal performances coming from Zatai, especially up in the top lane. You know, we see Rookie still putting on clinics in the mid lane too.
Yeah, and you know, EDG had EDE, which is now IMA, and they had ADG. So Mouse was from ADG. He was their top laner. He had also played support beforehand. He also dabbled in mid, like, I don't know, a while ago. Zatai, he's a mid laner. And he, even though he's a top laner for a while now, he still plays like a mid laner. His wave control is fantastic. He plays to kill your lane. He doesn't play for farm. You know, he's a great Vlad player, a great Swain player. These are champions that he is more than comfortable taking into the top lane and bullying you around. And I think that for the first time, Mouse is going to be really tested here. I mean, V looked to take it to him. EDG versus Newbie. We saw the Swain versus Trundle matchup go heavily in V's favor. But this time around, Zatai, he's not a laner like V. He doesn't let you catch up through CF. Like, Zatai wants to kill you.
I think on the other side of the map, we can also take a look at the bottom lane where EDG definitely favorites here with Deft and Mako running havoc in the bottom lane, but like you mentioned earlier, you know, might not be the lane that really matters in the coming meta.
So this is where like I get yelled at. The best bottom lane in the world is in EDG's bottom lane. Mako and Deft are the best bottom lane in the world, and if you watch how Deft is playing at the moment, you will understand exactly why. Because he is someone that, you know, Ezreal is huge in this meta. He is by far the best Ezreal player. Deft's Ezreal has always been incredible.
So up there
he's on the tier list. He defines the tier list, Fish. And I think that Mako is also a really versatile support. So I'm going to say that IG, heavily in favor in the top lane. But Deft and Mako against Tabe and Rain, wow, that is a one-sided affair at its best.
Well, speaking of Tabe, really quickly, you know, he just came back into the IG lineup. He did play in the semi-finals, I believe it was, during playoffs in Spring Split, now playing regularly for the side of IG here. He's brought a little bit of shock calling back to the team, and we had a little bit of questions for him, but he's been looking pretty decent. But we'll go through the lineups very quickly before we touch on Tabe as we take a look at EDG. It's going to be Mouse up in the top lane with Clear Love, the all-star jungler in the jungle, with Scout, Deft, and Mako rounding out their team.
Who cares? Pawn's back in the sub position. He is back from Korea. The man has recovered from injury, I have been assured. And you know, this is interesting because now Scout really gets pushed because Scout has been playing well, but Pawn is always going to be there as a secret weapon they can pull out. But look at the KDA, look at how well-rounded this team unit is. With the exception of Mouse, I mean, 53% kill participation, slightly low for a top laner, but everyone else looks incredibly good.
It's going to be really interesting to see if they do put in Pawn at any point during the series, especially because, you know, you mentioned this time and time again, Scout, he's been playing so well for the EDG line, just fit in quite nicely into the team too.
Yeah, he certainly has, and you know, Scout, he has some like other things that he does incredibly well. I mean, he speaks fluent English, like that's just an example, and a lot of their comms are in English, although they are the Korean players have Chinese lessons every single day. They are slowly transitioning their comms to purely Mandarin, as you have a look at Mako on your screen.
Then we take a look at the other side of this matchup here. It's going to be Invictus Gaming. You know, this is a team that don't have any communication problems whatsoever. You know, Rookie speaking fluent Mandarin in this lineup. They all communicate and converse in that language. We take a look at their lineup here. To tie up in the top lane, Kid will be in the jungle with Rookie dominating the mid lane, with Rain and Tabe being down in the bottom lane for their team.
And you know, it's a joy every time I get to say it because I was a huge fan of Invictus Gaming and Kid, but Kid has turned into a world-class jungle, and that is a terrifying top side of the map. I mean, the versatility. Your AD carry is now your jungler, your mid lane is now your top laner, and they haven't missed a beat. Round that out by the fact that Rookie stands in the middle of this team and is an absolute monster. I mean, he was touted as someone that could maybe challenge Faker. I'm not going to make that claim. Faker is still better than Rookie, but Rookie is a very impressive mid laner in his own right.
Well, you know, Rusty speaks very highly of Rookie. Always loves to watch how he plays that mid lane matchup. He's just so aggressive. He just does things that people don't normally do in that mid lane. As there we see Rain and Tabe on your screen, the shot caller, and what could be probably the weaker bottom lane coming into this matchup as well.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have to see. You see an in-shape Zatai as well. You know, that guy's looking after himself. It's always nice to see. But I do really want to talk about the mid lane because this is a test for Scout. Scout is someone that, you know, he would have played against the best in the business of all time in Faker on many occasions when he was on SKT and they were scrimming together. But when you look at Rookie, Faker is a great team fighter. He's also a great laner. Rookie is just an outright great laner. Like,